Do you believe politics is slipping away in today's society?
Politics is everywhere. If people aren't engaged or paying attention to it, that it's not interesting to them, then we need to reach out to those people because politics is in everything, absolutely everything that we do.
Yeah. It's a big part of your life as well. What made you get into politics?
The reason I got involved was somebody asked me to run for president of the Labor Party, and I thought about it for a little while and decided why not, because why not a rank and filer from the waterfront in Sydney have a crack. And I've been doing that since 2018. It's an important role in the party, and it should be able to be done by rank and file members. It doesn't always have to be an MP. They've already got a job, like so have I as well, but it's the Maritime Union. But if you think you can contribute to something by being inside the tent, then do it.
For those people that don't know, I feel like there is some sort of progression that you have to go through before you can step into a role that you're in right now. What kind of progression was involved in that?
Well, I was a member of the Labor Party for many years. I'd hand out, I'd go to my branch meetings, I'd contribute that way, go to national conferences, pass policy and be a part of that whole process. I mean, the Labor Party doesn't just come up with policies for no reason. There's actually conferences and policy put in place by the members of the party. So if you become a member of a party, you can go to these conferences and contribute. You can come up with any idea you want and say, I want to take this to the floor of the Labor Party conference. So that's being involved.
And that's everyone.
Yeah, that's everyone.
Yeah.
You can join a party that most represents your beliefs and then go and be a part of the process, and not just sit back and go, oh, they never do anything for me. Go and get it done for yourself. Be a part of it.
Yeah. And you're saying everyone can get involved?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Would you recommend everyone to get involved?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's easy to sit at home and have a whinge and say things aren't right in the world,
which most people do.
Yeah. Or you get off your butt and go and do something about it, and that's with everything. That's with my union work. That's with community itself, like volunteering in a local homeless shelter or things like that. If you think something's wrong, go and have a go at fixing it.
Have a crack.
Yeah, have a crack.
And what was your inflection point? Because I feel like you don't just wake up one day deciding I want to go to the Labor Party and start pushing policies. Where was your inflection point that made you want to start doing stuff like that?
Well, I've always been involved in the union movement, so that's part of it. I've worked for some really bad bosses that treated me badly as an employee, and that made me get involved in the union movement because I wanted to make change there in my workplace. And when I first started at McDonald's, and they were a terrible boss at the time,
how old were you then?
15, I think. Yeah. And if you're treated badly by bosses, then you want to get involved in making change in that workplace.
Yes.
So you become a union member and you become a union delegate, and then you go and do all those things. And so that's the same thing as the Labor Party. It's the same as wanting to make change in society, in the community, and you do that through these processes.
100%. I feel like in that inflection point that you had, a lot of people go through that process. We speak to a lot of business owners, and I feel like a lot of business owners that we know or we speak to, they have a point where they don't like their boss, they don't like the way they were treated. So what they do is they become a boss. Mm-hmm. But what you decided was, let me actually go bigger scale and change policies so then all bosses across the board are in line in that method.
Yeah, I have gone the complete opposite way to being a boss. But yeah, I mean, and some people become bosses become bad bosses too because they were treated badly, and that's not good either. But if you're a worker that's got a boss, you should be in a union because one voice is very small, and the union is a louder voice because all the voices are together. So
yeah.
And how do you get your voice out there? Is it through social media or?
Yeah, oftentimes through social media. I think that's probably one of the biggest ways to do it. Podcasts are great like this. I think during COVID, everyone started listening to things that they'd never listened to before, and obviously some things they shouldn't listen to. But there was some wacky stuff going on out there. But you've got to use every available avenue to get your voice out there. A lot of our rallies that we have against big employers and that sort of thing are very public, visible events like shutting the streets down and, marching through the streets like we do on May Day and that sort of thing. So we're very visible doing that stuff. But yeah, any available opportunity to get your voice out there, do it.
There we go.
How did you go about backing yourself?
That's a good one. It's really hard. When you run for office and you run for positions of in political office, it's very difficult and there's a lot of people against you. Standing in the mirror every morning and looking yourself in the eye and chanting, I won't tell you what I was chanting, but you've got to give yourself a pep up to get out the door sometimes. I used to have to walk into events that I was afraid to go into. I'd have a song that I'd play in my AirPods, and then as soon as that song was over, I'd just walk through the door like I was ready to,
Ready to go.
bash the thing down.
Yeah.
But you need to back yourself, and it is hard, especially when it was in the media as well, and the media are attacking me, and so it hurts you. You got to ring your family sometimes and go, don't read the paper tomorrow, but you just got to keep going.
We find that with a lot of the people that we talk to, there is that backing yourself is a very hard thing to do, especially when there's backlash in industries all over the globe. With fighting those, how did you overcome them?
Sometimes I didn't. Sometimes it fell apart.
Yeah.
But if you believe in it, if you really, really believe in it, you'll do it anyway. Like you just got to get up and go and do it. Like put your feet on the floor in the morning, step up, look yourself in the mirror, say whatever you got to say, listen to that song, and just go and just have a crack.
Yeah.
Because it's what you believe in.
Have you? Yeah, sorry to cut you
You're right.
off.
No, you're right. Again.
Have you always been like that? Has that been you growing up?
I've always been pretty tough.
Yeah.
My dad, who passed away in December at 92, was a tough guy, and his mantra was always, "She'll be right, mate."
She'll be right.
I like that one.
Many times I've said to myself, "It'll be okay." Like she'll be right, mate. She'll be right, Bob. He used to say to me.
Yeah.
And it usually is. What are you afraid of? It's like fear, and fear is a terrible, terrible thing. I used to be afraid of flying because I'm not flying the plane. If I was flying the plane, I'd be fine. You know what I mean? It's an act of surrender. You've just got to get over your fears and just keep going.
Yeah.
They do say that fear is a mile wide and an inch deep.
Yeah.
So it looks scary on the outlook, but once you step into it, you're like, oh, it wasn't that scary.
Just a little puddle.
That's right.
It's just a little puddle. Yeah.
Yeah, I used to be afraid of flying before COVID, and then I realised there was something bigger out there that I should be afraid of.
Yeah.
And now you're traveling all the time.
And now I always travelled all the time, but I was terrified of it. If the little bump, I'd be holding the ceiling of the plane. Well, what's that going to do?
You might stabilise it with your hands on.
You just got to realise that you can't control it, and you can't control everything, and step into it and have a go anyway. I mean, people that don't get on planes because they are afraid of it are missing so much.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
As a leader.
Miss 3 weeks in Italy if you can't get on a plane.
Yeah, exactly.
You're never going to see it.
Yeah, that's right.
As a leader, what's a big lesson that changed the way that you lead others?
Someone once said to me, can I swear? No.
Yeah, of course you can.
There's nothing that you can fuck up that I can't fix.
Oh.
And I went, all right.
There's nothing that you can fuck up that I can't fix.
Yeah. So another leader was that, had more power than I did.
Yeah.
Said, just have a go. And if you mess it up, I'll fix it. So that was pretty good. Yeah.
Okay.
That was my favourite.
I like that one.
Yep.
So you had someone to sort of look up to, and did you have a role model growing up, or?
Yeah, there's always role models. Obviously, my dad. My dad
Yep.
was a policeman and just had good morals and ethics, and he was just a good guy. So yeah, he was definitely one of my role models. But along the way in the industry, on the waterfront, I had a role model there. It's hard to say.
Yeah.
I had a role model there that looked after me and taught me how to become a delegate on the waterfront. And then when I joined the union, started working for the union, there was an official there that put me under his wing, and he was the one that gave me that saying. So, there's always people that back you, and once you got those, you're good.
In a position of leadership, though, there's not too many people above you, is there? So in terms of like that mantra, if I fuck up, someone else will fix it.
Yeah.
How do you go about that?
Well, so as soon as I got elected as Assistant National Secretary of the Union, I realised that I was that person that had to fix it.
Yeah.
So there was a moment where I went, oh, I can't blame anyone for this. I'm going to have to make sure I get this right. So once you get there, you've got to make sure that you get it right, and then you've got to make sure that the people next to you are supported and brought along the journey as well.
Yeah.
So that they can become leaders too, because leaders don't create followers, they create more leaders.
Yes.
What was the first day like stepping into that whole new world of yours?
Hectic.
Yeah.
Terrifying. I don't cry a lot. You have to stab me to make me cry usually, but but every now and again you just burst into tears and just lose it completely. But no. Well, stepping into the role for the union, I've been working for the union for a long time, and I love the job, and I love the industry, and it's my calling. So I was very, very proud to do it. So that wasn't a problem. First day of the Labor Party, after being elected, is the national conference. So you're on stage at the national conference and you're cheering. It's like, what am I doing here? But you get through it.
Yeah. How was that experience talking in front of people?
Yeah, mad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to be afraid of public speaking.